Hello, everyone. This is the Mgtow Cowboy. Greetings and salutations. I was thinking about another Mgtow related topic, and I wanted to make a video about it. The subject at hand in this case is paternity fraud. I did a little bit of reading online just to refresh, just to bone up on my understanding of what paternity fraud is and how it plays out in Western societies, Western countries, not just the U.S. And I can tell you that based off of just what little I read this evening, I can confirm again that the smartest move is to go Mgtow. We already know that many of the institutions in our society are now against us, but I can reaffirm to you guys that the courts are definitely against men in this particular case. So, with that being said, first off, let me define very quickly. So, what is paternity fraud? Paternity fraud is when a woman either knowingly or unknowingly, paternity fraud is when a woman knowingly or unknowingly misrepresents, essentially lies, and says that she believes the biological father could be one person when either she's knowingly lying or she's just not sure. From what little I read, I read a couple of case studies. What it seems to me is, going Mgtow, staying Mgtow, not marrying, not letting a woman cohabitate, and not having kids. Increasingly, it's the way to go. Let me give you a couple of examples. The one example I remember learning a long time ago that I always like to use as an example is a case in France. There was a case in France, you guys can look it up, where this case ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court. A man, for whatever reason, became suspicious. I believe he was a married man. I should have said that in the beginning. There was a married man in France who had a suspicion that his wife may have been cheating or something. And so, unbeknownst to the mother, he decided to get like a DNA, DNA diagnostic test on the child. And he found that the child was not his, that he was not the biological father. So I guess he decided to divorce her, and he thought he had a really strong case with the court, claiming that he should not have to pay child support because he was able to prove that the child was not his. The case ended up going all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court struck down his case. And so he was forced to pay child support on a child that was not his. In the ruling, the French Supreme Court acknowledged the fact that the child was not his. However, they claimed that he is still responsible for paying for the child. And their reasoning was, listen to this, their reasoning was it was necessary essentially to throw this man under the bus because not doing so would ultimately affect the stability of France, of French culture. I believe the term that they used is it would disrupt the quote unquote harmony of French society. Harmony. Could you imagine saying, yeah, we know that your wife cheated on you, and of course, you're going to feel totally cheated, but we're still going to make you pay, and we don't care, because, this would, we can't set the precedent that men are allowed to to free themselves from not having to pay child support on children that are not theirs, because it would disrupt the, quote, harmony, unquote, of our society. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. That's so in the final analysis, or in this particular case, basically what the French court is saying is, yeah, we know that you men are being screwed over, but you know what? We don't care. In fact, we're going to help the women do it. That's how I interpret that. And that to me is sickening. So, yeah, I just wanted to share that. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. And then also, I was reading on Wikipedia that in the United States, paternity fraud, even if a man can prove it, even if a man can prove that a woman is engaging in paternity fraud, paternity fraud is not, as of right now, as of 2021, paternity fraud is not a crime in the United States. So, yeah. Yeah, the more I read about the laws, the more I come to understand it's blatantly clear. It's so clear that even the courts are against us. You can't get a fair shake. Frankly, I must admit it bothers me because I think it goes against common sense. The idea that a man should have to pay for a child that's not his. And then, the court might say, well, but you married this woman, so because you're married, you are financially responsible for her. Is what they're saying. But then the man can come back and say, well, if I'm forced to be responsible for her, I should have authority over her. If you're forced to be responsible for a credit card, then you should have authority over who uses that credit card. Do you guys follow me, right? But see, that's the problem. That's the disconnect. The court wants to say that the man is still responsible for the woman, but the man is not allowed to have any authority over the woman. So the woman can run wild and the man is just stuck with her bad decisions. And I just don't believe that. So anyway, I guess I'll leave it at that. Yeah, paternity fraud. I was just researching it, and I can tell you, it's one of the main grievances that I think that Mgtow have a very strong. How can I put it? It's a very strong point that we can use to buttress or support our platform. Of course, the people that are our political adversaries, they're not going to care. But I think this serves as very, very strong evidence, at least anecdotal evidence for like young men who maybe don't have families or children yet. It would really help get them thinking like, wow, it's codified, it's written into law that I have to take care of a kid that's not mine. That's unbelievable. But it's true, and it's on the books. And there's a number of examples. I saw examples in all these places, a number of states, Canada, other countries. Yeah, so again, I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, paternity fraud is real, and just another reason not to marry, not to cohabitate, because if she ever gets pregnant, she can just name you. And even if it's not your kid, you're stuck. Oh, one last thing. I'm sorry. I wanted to mention this. In France, apparently, it's so bad that you're not allowed, or unless you're explicitly given permission by the mother, you are no longer even legally allowed to test for paternity. So I mean, they even take away your ability to find out the truth. That's how bad the courts are colluding with women to hoodwink men. I'm sorry, I forgot that little tidbit, but I found that especially egregious. So anyway, yeah, I'll leave it at that. If you guys like the video, please like, please share, please comment, please subscribe, And you gentlemen have a good rest of your evening. All right, bye now.